Motherfucker, I hate this motherfucker.
No, Sam, that's not how we do it. Let me show you how we take care of the creature.
I hate him.
Let me show you how we take care of the creature. Go, Rita! Yeah.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Man, thank you all for the support and the reactions and the questions and everything. We have a pretty fully packed show tonight, so I'm not going to do a very long introduction today. We're just going to kind of get right into it. Just a little housekeeping before we start. First and foremost, the last show ran about 52 minutes or a little over. I didn't do a lot of editing only because it was the first show. We wanted to do, the introduction, kind of set the tone for the show and kind of give you an idea of what we'll be doing. Of course, we'll be improving as we go, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea or kind of build the world, so to speak. But these shows will run about 30, no more than 35 minutes on average. Even if we expand, we'll expand one show a week to an hour before we get into multiple days. We kind of want to grow organically. We'll grow with the demand. So I'm not going to overwork myself. But we'll go ahead. We'll get started. We'll get into some stories and hang tight. We'll be right back. All right. And we're back. So, like I said, we got a lot of stories, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Our first story is actually a continuation of a story we talked about last week. And honestly, we'll probably be talking about it weeks and weeks to come, hopefully not years to come, but that's kind of par for the course. You see, I got my fatigue hat on today because we're at war. I don't care what MAGA says, the General Republican Party says. I don't care what the guy who used to host The Apprentice, Donald Trump, says. We're at war. So let's go back to what we reported last week, and then we'll just kind of catch up. So last week we reported that Israel did an airstrike on Iran in an attempt to destroy or uncover nuclear weapons that Iran has been building for at least 30 years of my life, according to Bibi Netanyahu. I've been writing book reports and news reports about this man searching for nukes in Iran for dating back to 30 years, about sixth grade. So shout out to Miss McKenzie, social studies teacher, DC James. But anyway, so they did an airstrike last week into Iran. Iran said that this means war, killed a lot of top scientists and a few army or military officials. So naturally, Iran retaliated. They retaliated with a missile strike. They retaliated with ballistic missiles. So they're ready to fight. They also gave a stark warning to the U.S. as we are Israel's number one ally. They said, do not get involved or we will get you involved. And so last week I spoke about it, and I said that I was hopeful that Donald Trump, because he ran on the peaceful president, the president who didn't want our country involved in long drawn out wars, ending long drawn out wars that we were currently in. We kind of had this Russia-Ukraine thing on the bubble. Of course, we know what happened or what actually continues to happen in the Israel-Gaza war or fight. We, of course, heard about the brewing up with India and Pakistan. So we've been kind of bubbling under in the war territory for a while. So we definitely didn't need anything to push us over. And lo and behold, the embarrassment of Donald Trump decided to use B-2 bombers, which I am reporting right now that the B-2 bombers are actually back after a 36-hour mission. They are back in Missouri at an Air Force, at the Whiteman Air Force Base. It's called Whiteman probably, but the name is legit Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Look it up. I'm not lying. After a 36-hour mission, the B-2 bombers are back that completed the airstrike in Iran to blow up 3 of the nuclear sites, where Iran was allegedly making weapons of mass destruction. We've heard that before. So to everyone who voted for this and voted under the pretense that we wouldn't be going into a war, I'm pretty sure we aren't hearing from those people right now. They're back at their MAGA headquarters, their Republican headquarters, getting deprogrammed and reprogrammed so that they can hit the streets next week and beyond with messaging of how bombing a fucking country actually brought us peace. So be ready for MAGA to come to you and say, no, he did this in order to quell it. They're going to have, they already have talking points on Fox News, which is the network. I will always remind you that Fox News is the network who had to pay $785 million for fucking lying, and they continue to lie. Also, I don't want to hear anybody talk about Tasha K anymore losing her lawsuit to Cardi B, because that's exactly what happened with Fox News, and people still tune in religiously. Like, it's fucking embarrassing for people to be that stupid. But the average reading age in this country is about 5th or 6th grade, so that makes sense. So where we are now is we have did an airstrike in Iran. Iran media and Iran military officials have already said that U.S. embassies in the region are now targets because they told you last week, as I told you last week, don't get involved in this war directly. They already said that you're supplying Israel with what they need, but don't get involved. And Donald Trump, because he does what he wants to do, the guy from The Apprentice, he said that we're going to get involved. Mind you, get involved in a war in which we did not get Congress's approval. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Congress, the House of Representatives, they are the fucking purse of this country. They signed off on the money. You need money to go to war. You also need approval from Congress to enter or go to a war. The president should address the nation before we go to fucking war. None of this happened. He treated it like it was some top secret private mission, as if he was chasing bin Laden or something in the fucking desert, and then notified us that the B-2 bombers were not only there, but they had already committed the airstrike and they were damn near on their way back. So be ready for MAGA to give you their spin. Now, a week ago, these were the peaceful, no war president people. This week, they will talk to you and they will try to justify why this war of all wars was justified. So currently, we within the week to come, I'm pretty sure things will probably escalate in the region. Iran has already said they didn't want to talk. They already said the nuclear deal talks were off when Israel did the airstrike on their facilities, their test facilities. So that shit's out the window. The audacity of the fucking Apprentice guy to put in a tweet after bombing them, now let's make peace. This is the time for peace. No, it's not the fucking time for peace. If you attack me, you can't call peace after you attack me. Iran is going to want their lick back. And even more so, we're getting early reports. And I know being in the United States, we find comfort in knowing that, you know, unfortunately, our servicemen and women are in the line of fire because of our embassies and our bases in the region. But we often take comfort as Americans thinking that, you know, we're too far away and we would shoot any missiles or threats out of the sky. Well, Iran has just stated that they are also, or unofficially, also activating their sleeper cells on U.S. territory. Let me explain to you what that means. Sleeper cell bombers. Let's explain what that is. You're on the subway. Kablooey. You're at a music festival. Kablooey. That's how that fucking works. So while your president is trying to prove that he has big kahunas and he's the leader of the free world, which he does not act like, he just puts you in harm's way. Hopefully, this will not happen. I repeat, hopefully this will not happen. However, you don't get to hit someone and tell them how mad to get or how they can retaliate. So, of course, we will be tracking this story and we will keep you informed as much as we can. It feels like I couldn't even wait to get back here because there's so much fucking going on that day to day, by the next time we have another show and talk about it, it'll probably be a whole different fucking thing that we'll be talking about as it pertains to Iran versus Israel. But also notable, Oh, that was a burp. I'm not gonna edit that out either. You're gonna hear that burp because I'm human. I am human. Is that the song? Oh no, that's I'm your lady. What? I am human. That's a song that says I am human. Or is that Christina? We are beautiful. Anyway. So yeah, we are gonna talk about that, but notable before we go to a break, before we get into more stories. Um, China apparently is in position and already ready to supply Iran with what they need. China had already issued a vague warning to the US that if you entered this and put boots on the ground directly, then we would be in full support of Iran. Now, Russia's kind of riding the fence a little bit. Russia basically initially said that they were in full support of Iran, or rather, Putin issued a statement saying Iran had every right to defend itself. Now it feels like Trump has kind of gotten on the horn and talked to old Vlad, and now his position is we can't support an attack on Israel because outside of Russia, Israel has the most Russian speaking people. So we can't support an attack, which logically makes sense. I mean, topically makes sense. But you shouldn't have jumped out there so quick, Vlad. You know, you and Trump are joint at the hip. You are each other's tethers. So we're gonna keep an eye on Iran versus Israel versus the U.S. silently versus China. And of all fucking situations, Russia trying to be Switzerland is beyond me. But keep it locked. We'll be back. More stories. All righty, we are back. Did you miss me? Shout out to Barnell Hill. See my new tea meal today. I'm only gonna do like 3. I was thinking about it. I'm only gonna do like 3 in rotation in season 1. So you saw my Tiffany blue. I don't know what this is called, but I like it because I can drink with my right hand. Last week, if you noticed, I was drinking with my left, which is not normal for me. I'm right-handed, but I will learn to be ambidextrous based on these mugs. All right. So let's get into this next story. This next story is, I don't know. I don't like this next story because it's a very slippery slope. But unfortunately, I know a lot of people who are going to initially, and again, topically, they're going to support this. But I kind of want to lean into a little bit more of what this means on the broader scale. So Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed Senate Bill 10 into law Saturday, making Texas the latest state to require public elementary and secondary schools to display the 10 Commandments in every classroom starting the 25-26 school year. Yes, the governor of Texas just signed a bill into law requiring that the 10 Commandments be placed in every classroom for elementary and secondary schools starting 25-26 school year. That's after summer. When your kids go back to school, they're going to have the 10 Commandments posted in their classroom as a requirement from the governor. Now, we say ultimately, they also post like the OSHA shit in there. And they post, they're required to post a lot of shit. In the library, they're going to have a picture of the apprentice. Just like in every post office, they have the apprentice hanging up. But this one's a little different. And the reason why this is different than any OSHA warning or any school rules, be kind, things like that. This one is religious indoctrination. And in this country, while America is primarily a Christian nation, it does not give us the green light for Christian nationalism. And this is where a lot of marginalized communities tend to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. So let's unpack. This is how a lot of Catholic voters voted against Kamala Harris in the election because most Catholic people, or people of the Catholic faith rather, are pro-life. But do you see how voting your religious belief got the rest of the country, and at this point, the rest of the globe fucked? Keep your religion outside of your politics. Not because I have a disdain for your religion. While I don't subscribe to any particular religion, I do understand how religion in a community, religion amongst a group of people can create order. It can also it can also help build a foundation for maneuvering life and getting through life and surviving hard times. Unfortunately, everybody's not running to therapy. And before, my community, the African American community or Black community or whatever we call ourselves these days, before we got into that, all we had was Jesus, and Jesus got us through. Now we understand that we can have a religious component, but we also need to talk to a trained professional about how our brains work and how we view the world and how we hit emotional highs and lows depending upon what we experience. So, uh, putting the Ten Commandments in the classroom, I know it just, like I said, it sounds like just another list that you put, on the wall, but this one and its religious undertone kind of sets the stage for the government, local government, as well as federal government to be able to indoctrinate you further with their religious doctrine. Keep in mind, although the United States and Texas is very Christian and NRA, um, putting the Ten Commandments, putting the Ten Commandments in your classroom, it makes everyone who is also possibly not a Christian, because we do have people here who are of the Buddhist faith, who are of the Islamic faith, so on and so forth, the Jewish faith, or Judaism. And so to put that doctrine in there, it kind of puts Christianity above all other religions. And when we go to school, we understand our schools and our workforce is our melting pot. It's where we can all come together. It's where we can all put our religious differences aside and we can come together for a greater cause, whether that's productivity for your organization. In school, it's to be educated and prepared to enter into the workforce or prepared to enter into adulthood. It's not really for indoctrination. And what we're having now is this pendulum swinging back and forth, where you have the liberals wanting to, open up the schools and have kids be able to have access to various types of education, various types of understanding. And then you have the far right or the conservative side saying, no, we want we want a good, solid Christian base, a Christian upbringing. But to be very frank and very honest, Christianity has never stopped a pastor from having an allegation of fucking his way through the church. Christianity has never stopped, nor Catholicism has never stopped anyone from touching kids. These religions aren't a safe place as we present them, and they're not the morality or the moral high ground that we place them. One of the biggest fucking shows on TV, Seventh Heaven, was about a preacher. The guy who played the preacher turned around to be one of the biggest fucking chomos. Oh, I can say chomo, right? Yeah. One of the biggest, look up your prison vernacular, chomo's a thing. One of the biggest fucking chomos in Hollywood. So under the guise of a good family Christian show, and he plays a pastor, they're actually thinking about bringing Seventh Heaven back. I mean, I think they're trying to blacken it up. But let's just leave Seventh Heaven alone. That's like starting a new Cosby Show with a different family, even though, and I hate what happened to the Cosby Show, because it was a very good, wholesome show. It is a very good, wholesome show. You just have, sick fucks at the helm of it, and it kind of ruins the whole thing. But that's going to spill over into our next story. We're going to get into those type of things too. But back to this, putting the Ten Commandments in the classroom, like I said, initially doesn't seem like a big issue. However, it's the gateway. Like we talk about, weed is the gateway to coke and meth, which is wild. It is the gateway to Christian nationalism, and I caution marginalized communities to understand that Christian nationalism is not for you. It is for white people. It is for all American white people. Christian nationalism is parallel and aligned with eugenics. You know what eugenics is? Genocide. Getting rid of all people or homogenizing them so that they start looking blonde hair, blue eyed, and skin as light as possible. So be very careful what you allow to sneak through the back door under the guise of it's religious or religion. Get in your books and understand. Understand what you're signing off on, understand what you're agreeing with, because they're gonna feed you a lot of stuff under religion because they know that's the gateway into marginalized communities, namely the black community, namely blacks in the South. So be very careful. I know it sounds good, and that's a one, yay, Jesus, Jesus one, sinner zero. But be very careful what comes with that one, and be very careful what comes with that win. Because if you allow them to do this, you're pretty much telling them this it's okay for them to indoctrinate you as long as there's someone or a majority who wants it. So, or the legislature who wants it. So very careful with that. So we'll be back. Keep it tight. We got one more story and then we'll get into the rest of the crazy shit that comes with this show. All right, let's get back into some things. We're gonna do one Troy talking me through it for today. Y'all be writing novels, man, and so which is good. I appreciate it. But we're gonna do one today just because our stories kind of got away from us, and I'm really trying to stay within that 30 to 35 minute timeline. But also drop down in the comments. Let me know. Would you tune in for longer than 30, 35 minutes? Because I really want to respect your time, and I'm a big proponent of touching grass. So I don't want to add to you sitting in the house looking at a screen all day. I come do my little 30 and then you get your ass outside and touch some grass. But let me know. Drop down in the comments. Also, like, share, subscribe, notify. No, turn the notification bell on. I'm still new. Clearly still new here. But let's get into some Troy talk me through it. So we got an interesting one today. I like this. I like this type of stuff. I can relate to this a little bit better. So it says, "Hi Troy, my BFF and I have been cool since freshman orientation in college. We've been there for each other since day one. She knows where all the bodies are buried. We both live in the same city, and over the last year or so, we've drifted apart. She wants to party every weekend, and I want to go to hot yoga and hear live music. I often find myself giving in to what she wants to do so we can hang out because she always has an excuse when I want to plan something not Bottle Girl related." Not the Bottle Girls. Bottle Girls caught a stray. I love Bottle Girls. Bottle Girls, we appreciate you. Just not every weekend, right? Anyway, it reminds me of the season of Insecure when Molly and Issa fell out. Oh man, that fucked with us all apparently. Talk me through it. Should I cut my losses and accept that I'm about to experience my first friendship breakup? Oh, or what should we do to get back on track? Signed, Hella Molly, Hella Issa. Ah, that was dope. Hella Molly, Hella. Which one are you? Are you Molly or are you Issa? Because I know who was the problem. I think we all know who the problem was in the Molly Issa thing. Yeah, that one. So, Hella Molly, Hella Issa. This is what I'll say. This is my idea about friendships in general. And I think it's very important that we look at it this way in order to not have a series of friendship breakups. First of all, friendship breakups are not a bad thing. They're a sign that you and someone were on a journey and now your journeys are going separate ways. That is totally okay. That's fine. That's life. Because as we get older, let's start when we're younger. When we're younger, our friendships are created by proximity. Usually our neighborhood, usually the schools we go to, even all the way up to college. The organizations or fraternities or sororities or whatever, like we're socialized by proximity and partly interest. So our friendships are front loaded with proximity. And then as we get older, our friendships lean into our interests. So you'll find that your friendship base shifts based on your interest. What it sounds like is you and your friend just don't have the same interest anymore. It doesn't mean that you aren't friends anymore. It just means that you have different interests. So I don't think you're about to break up with your friend since college. However, and I don't know how far y'all are past college either. That plays a part because if you're like 10 years, then you might be about to lose them. But if you're like 20 years in, like closer to 20 years, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're about to lose them. What it means is you have to understand the season that you both are in, where in the beginning, when it comes, this was my original thought. Friendships on the front end is a lot of us protecting our friends. Don't do that. Or if you fight, I'm with you. We gonna fight. We both going to jail. Uh, don't judge me. I spent my childhood in a wild hood. But as you get older, your friendships evolve into more I got your back. I'll be there for you. I will support you because life is naturally going to pull you two apart. I don't know where you all are as far as family, children, spouse dynamic. I don't know if that's factored in. It sounds like it may not be since the things keeping y'all apart is what you want to do for fun. I'm assuming that the your spouses or children or whatever that is haven't fully taken effect. Because I'll say this: if you haven't reached that part of your lives yet, buckle the fuck up because it's definitely gonna test your friendship. So I don't think this friendship is necessarily over. What I do think is you need to have a real conversation about how you feel because in here you didn't talk about addressing this with the friend. And even if the conversation is to agree that you both are about to move in your own directions, it doesn't mean that you have to lose or not honor the time you spent together, what you have. You can still always have her back. You can still very much die with all her secrets, and she can very much still die with yours. It just means that you two are in a different season in your life and your interests are different. So what you need to do initially is you need to have a conversation with your friend. Talk to your friend, tell your friend how you're feeling, just like you told me how long you have felt this way because a year, that's a very long time to be in the same city with someone. She been dragging you to parties for a whole fucking year. You've been looking at bottle girls for a year and haven't said anything. That's crazy. Um, you're not crazy, but that's a crazy scenario to put yourself in. Don't you know what? I'm gonna assume you're a little on the younger side, or definitely younger than me. I'll say this, and this is related to what you're going through, but not necessarily. Don't ever betray yourself. Don't ever betray yourself. That's the only betrayal that is hard to come back from. People lying, cheating, stealing. Well, you can't come back from killing either, but you know what I mean. People betraying you is something you can't necessarily control. You can find your accountability within the situation, but ultimately you can't control what these people are doing out in these streets. People are crazy. What you can do and what you can fine tune and hone in on is where you betray yourself. For me, that's the name of the game right now. I can't control what nobody does outside of me. You know, I can be aware, I can try to be intuitive, I can use my past experience to inform my future ones or future or current situations. But ultimately, you can't control what people do. What you can do is make sure that you don't betray yourself. And what betraying yourself looks like it is operating outside of your better knowledge, operating outside of your better interest. You know that you don't want to go and look at these damn bottle girls every week or even every other week, yet you drag your ass out there. That is self-betrayal, and that's not your friend's responsibility. I'm gonna borrow a word from Will Smith when he was talking about him and Jada's relationship. Your happiness is not your friend's responsibility. If you both can be happy together, and apply this to your spouse if you get one or if you have one, that happiness is not your happiness is not their responsibility. You have to honor yourself. You have to honor your happiness. And so you let her drag you. You really let her drag you out here every week with these bottle girls in your face? My goodness. Yeah. So Hella Molly, Hella Issa, what you need to do is stop betraying yourself, have a conversation with your friend, and you know, if you all are disagreeing a lot, be prepared to put some distance in between you. It doesn't have to end. You just have to reprioritize that friendship. Maybe it goes from us hanging out every weekend or every other weekend to us just having one dinner date a month. And we catch up with each other, and she go makes bottle girl friends, not friends that are bottle girls, but girls who also, or friends who also want to go out to clubs. And then you get your hot yoga brunch crew and y'all hot yoga 3 weeks, and then y'all touch in with each other. Actually, this could actually make your friendship more fruitful because now y'all got a whole new group of people to talk about to each other. So that's, you know, that could work too, depending on how y'all are as friends. But yeah, I can't say it's not the end. I don't know if it's the end. It definitely feels like there needs to be some reprioritization, starting with you prioritizing yourself and your happiness. Because even though you're in this situation with your friend, a lion's share of the accountability in this is on you. So you can't you can't rely on someone else to make you fulfilled or make you happy. If you want a hot yoga, go hot yoga by yourself. Because let me tell you what happens when you lean as we get older, when you lean into your interests, you make friends in the place of interest. You find mates and partners in your place of interest. You may find your husband, if you don't have one, in hot yoga. I don't know if you necessarily find them at brunch, but who knows? But lean into your interest. If you thrift, if whatever it is you do, because you sound like a hot yoga person, sounds like a thrifter. I'm talking about one of my friends now, but she knows who she is. Love you. Uh, but if you're a hot yoga person, you could be a thrifting person. Lean into your interest. This is the part of your life or it seems like you're approaching the part of your life where you are really honing in on what makes you you. And you don't want to deprive yourself of that by acquiescing or catering to someone else's lifestyle. Because your friend is falling into, what if she becomes a party promoter, a badass party promoter? Now you know a party promoter. Maybe that's why she's there. Maybe she parties with a purpose. Maybe she's trying to get into that industry or whatever. Or nothing. Maybe she just likes to party every weekend because she hates her job. Who knows? I don't. But ultimately, it all is going to start with a conversation. Talk to your friend, let your friend know how you've been feeling, and just let them know that, hey, I can't sustain this, the way we are. So let's talk about, what our friendship looks like going forward. I'm sure if this is your friend, the way you say it is, they'll at least be receptive to the conversation. Now, what happens on the other side of that? Just always remember to honor yourself. Do not betray yourself. Lean into your interests and let your interests guide you into new relationships, because those relationships will be built on who you are now and not who you were in freshman orientation. So just reprioritize it. I think you guys will be okay if you have the conversation. Most of these friendships break down like Molly and Issa because the actions are running the relationship and you're not talking to each other. So communication will always save the day. Sometimes it'll make it better. Sometimes communication will be the definitive, it's time to move on. Either way, I think you will be fine. You just got to get out of that cycle of honoring others above yourself. That's what it sounds like the bigger issue is here. Because I'd imagine if you're doing this with this person, hopefully you're not letting this spill over into other areas of your life, like your work and your family dynamics. So keep an eye on honoring others above yourself. Lean into your interests and let your interests build your world. But I wish you the best, and you got this. All right, sit tight. We'll be back with some quick final thoughts because I'm still trying to keep this thing under 35 minutes. I guess I have to do it in the editing bay. I got no fucking editing bay. I'm going to edit it right where I'm sitting now. But, you got to start talking the lingo. You got to speak to your future. But anyway, sit tight. We'll be back. All right, and we're back. Show 2. Show 2 in the books. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling even more comfortable. Before the first show, I was a little bit of a ball. A little bit of the nerves creeped in, even though I'm like doing this by myself. I know why I'm burping. I drink water right before I come back. Yeah. Okay, that could be it. But water don't make me burp. Anyway, okay, focus, Troy. So, show 2. It was good. This definitely flowed a little bit more for me. I'm kind of getting my rhythm and my routine on camera and outside of the camera as far as like editing day and this. I'm learning a lot about editing, and I'm actually having fun. I love learning new things. That's one thing about me. I love being a student. I love expanding my mind, especially as I get older. I love the idea that I can still learn new things and apply what I've learned previously to the new thing. So I love to learn. So this editing thing has been a great joy for me, just as well as what I do in front of the camera. So this is good. One thing I wanted to say, and this is a little off topic, but we're here, so let's just get this shit out of the way. I've been seeing a lot of I love horoscopes, I love zodiac signs. I don't really care how you feel about it. Y'all have Jesus, y'all have Buddha, I have the planets, I guess. Anyway, I've been seeing a lot of Aquarius slander lately, and it's like been bubbling under. Like I've been seeing a lot of it on socials. Like it's this thing where it's becoming this, let's pile on to Aquarians. And I don't know. I don't really, I'm an Aquarius. My birthday is January 23rd. 1, 2, 3. So I'm like King Aquarian. Don't tell the rest of them because we don't really like to be ruled over. But I'm unofficially King Aquarian just because my birthday is 1, 2, 3. Um, but yeah, I don't like this slander. And y'all are like calling us toxic. Y'all saying that in any situation, we're usually the problem, whether it's friendship or dating or anything like that. Like, hold on. First of all, I think I may not be King Aquarian, but what I can do is speak for all Aquarians when I say this. We don't care. We don't care. We specialize in detachment. So if it really matters, you can just, if it's really a problem and we're really toxic, you can just leave us alone and we will be just fine because we detach and we live in our own worlds and we live in our heads and we probably wouldn't even notice you were gone or that you hadn't called. So all this Aquarius slander, let's relax on that. Let's breathe. Deep breathing because we shouldn't be attacking Aquarius. And you know what? You're not going to leave us alone because who else are you going to call to help you fix your fucking lives when you go out and inevitably fuck it up? Aquarians. And we're going to be here for you because that's why God put us here. So let's fall back on the slander and let's show a little more appreciation for the one zodiac sign who keeps you from jumping off a cliff and makes you climb that mountain every time. All right. So I just wanted to clear my chest on that. Oh, and somebody also wrote, and I'll address this one really quickly. Somebody also sent a message, actually sent a DM to the page. You all can send your questions to the DM as well. If you have questions, you can send it to the Troism Media, the Instagram page. You can send your messages in there if you want to. Of course, I will keep them 100% confidential. I may even do one of those little anonymous things that people do just so you can put them in there anonymously and we'll address them there. I think that'll be great because y'all be writing the great American novel in the damn email. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I'll address one. And it was like someone said, could I give my Mount Rushmore of R&B singers? I don't know if you want me. First of all, Mount Rushmore is 4 people. 4. Not a spare, not 5, not 6, not a group, not a band. It's 4. Um, so if I gave you my Mount Rushmore, I don't know if I can do women and men. You know what? I'll do them both together. Uh, Being decisive is important. Learn how to make a decision. So I'll do 2 women and 2 men. First woman, Whitney Houston. Second woman, Aretha Franklin. First man, Marvin Gaye. And wait, was this black? Was this all black people? Where's Black Music Month? So we'll keep it going. Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, and who will my fourth be? Those are my big 3. I listen to those 3 a lot. Who's the fourth? Mount Stevie Wonder. Duh. Stevie Wonder just topped the Billboard list for greatest R&B singer of all time. So while I'm impartial to Whitney Houston, uh, Stevie Wonder's amazing, like fucking amazing. Like I don't think people understand how great Stevie Wonder is because his catalog isn't relevant right now. But Stevie Wonder is fucking amazing. Dig in the Stevie Wonder crates. Stevie Wonder's well deserved. And Stevie used to run the charts. Stevie used to run the charts. He was Motown's cash cow. Like Stevie Wonder was, I know we get, Diana Ross and the Supremes. I love Diana Ross too. I love Motown. But yeah, look into Stevie Wonder. But anyway, I'm running over and I'm going to be kicking myself in editing because I really don't even like to cut a lot of this because I really try to show up to you as me and try not to splice my stream of thought. But either way, good show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back. Bring somebody with you next time. Give me I asked you to do something in the comments before. Oh, yeah. Let me know if 30 minutes is a sweet spot or if you're okay with it going over a little bit. This show will probably be longer than 30 minutes too. I'm just not gonna bullshit myself, but I will get better at it, and I will, because now it's like my little challenge. I like a little challenge. I love a little mental thing to be like, and I want to become more succinct and precise. See, I'm still talking. I want to become more succinct and precise in doing this show. I want it to run like a well-oiled machine. That way, when we are able to grow and bring a team, we'll already have a system to build on and streamline. Like I'm talking like I'm at work now. Anyway, great show. Thank you all for being here. See you next week, and touch grass. Have a good life. Be kind. Be a good person. All right. See you later.